What is going on out there? I believe this is going to be a very, very pivotal week of the year. We don't know what's going to happen next, but we have some ideas. So, my thoughts are that this 5-day extension is just a way to keep things going along for the week. And then the weekend comes and something big happens as usual on the weekend. And well, but we'll see, because you see that Iran has been really defiant, right? So Iran rejects peace plan and blow to efforts to end war, right? So I just think this is all a plan by Trump to say, hey, look, you know, I tried my best. I wanted peace, but they don't want it, right? So if you think about it, really, it makes sense to say, look, I tried everything I could do before a really big move, before a big move, right? So at least get some people, you know, it's a midterm year, at least to try to gain some credibility and say, you know, I'm trying to do a good job, but, you know, Iran is the bad guy, so we're going to let them have it. So it could be, and usually it plays out on the weekend. Usually it happens on the weekend. The bad news comes in on Friday night or Saturday morning, and then on Sunday night or Monday morning, the good news comes in. So we'll see what happens. But interesting stuff. Yeah, I pointed out in my video yesterday that we got this right here. I was saying for the week it's probably just going to go sideways, and then we're going to go down. It's going to be like down. But there's always a chance that an amazing peace deal is brokered and everything goes up. So there's always a chance. There's always a chance. But things will look good, especially because we're approaching April. That's when people pay their taxes and liquidity gets sucked out of the system. And this, anybody will tell you this. Anybody who believes in the macroeconomic cycle, right, as opposed to the 4-year cycle zombies. But the 4-year cycle zombies will tell you too that in the midterm year, April is always a bad month. Very bad. So we don't have too much going for us. So like, is this a stairway to heaven to go parabolic, or is this a real bear trap? And the 4-year cycle zombies will say, see, I told you so, and we get down to the 200-week moving average. Finally, because we didn't get there yet. At least we didn't close anywhere near the 200-week moving average. We did not close anywhere there. So look, I'm not buying this bull trap. Won't trap me. I figure this is a good video right here.
Ini ada aksi dari teman kita, YouTuber Mayang TV.
Crazy.
Lari bang, lari. Laju lari bang. Awas kena kakinya bang.
Yeah, this is us right now.
Bahaya. Laju lagi bang, larinya bang.
This bull trap won't trap me. That's what I think it is. But there's more craziness. Another good video. What the hell is going on here? Crypto traders try to predict the market. Crypto market. Yeah. But interesting stuff out there. I found this. You know, I always used to I made a lot of videos in the past about Sam Bankman-Fried. And his parents tell CNN that no customer money was lost. Oh my God. FTX credit received differently. That little weasel. Yeah. But yeah, TAO has been soaring, but Tensor TAO soars 80% month over month. It is actually more than doubled, right? It is crazy because the bottom was just like let's go. Let's pull up a TAO chart. Let's go to TAO. Attention TAO. Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy, right? But good to take some nice profits. Good to take some nice profits. It went up to like 374 today. I didn't even realize. I thought it was like 365. $374 is crazy. My God, man. Ooh. My God. But we got it out. We got it at its low, right? In my community, we got it down. It was like 150. Just crazy, right? And we've been riding it up. I've been taking some profits along the way. 10%, 10%. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking on 10% of a lot of stuff. And if by some odd chance they pump some more, like a good example is TAO. A good example is, I think it's dangerous right now because I'm taking 10% of a lot of stuff that's pumping because everything is like has really been mildly green. So then when it just goes back down, okay, I played it safe. I can buy back in with 10% of my bags, you know, that I cashed out on, and I buy back in. I gain some more tokens of that particular bag. But in the off chance that we just start soaring to the moon like unexpectedly, yeah, then I just take 10% more as it goes up. And as I did with TAO, I took 10% on 2 different exchanges. I got TAO. So I took 10% 3 times on one. I took 10% 2 times on another. And it is my expectation that the world is going to burn this coming weekend. It's going to burn.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire.
What's going on? I've been wanting to buy TAO for a while. Now I'm praying for a pop. But you didn't buy into it just recently? Like, when was it? Like, why? So, right back here? You didn't buy back here? I remember buying back in. It was either at this bottom or close to the bottom, right? Damn, man. What's going on with you, man? But anyways, yeah, I think it's going down. I think we're going down. I think you're going to get your second chance. I think so. I think, as I said in my video yesterday, I'm like, I'm 80%. I've been saying I'm 80% certain that we're gonna achieve the goals of the full year cycle zombies to get us down to a crypto winter. We're gonna make the full year cycle zombies happy. We're going to get all the way down to the 200-week moving average and close below it for maybe a few weeks in April. Maybe. Who knows? Who the hell knows? But we could see some real downward action this weekend or maybe next week. But I could be wrong, and we could be flying, so we'll see. Who the hell knows? You're too busy stacking Kaspa. Well, that's a good play too. That is a good. That's a good deal. So if you don't have one, you have the other. Yeah, I mean, it's both good deals. I think that TAO and Kaspa, I think, are going to be really big winners. But I think that TAO is going to be a bigger winner than Kaspa. You know, just because of the AI narrative. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Kaspa could go 100x based on its prices from where it is right now. TAO, I don't think go 100x, maybe 20. You know, but we'll see. But yeah, you don't want to underestimate AI. It's like underestimating the .coms back in like 1995. You know, it's just crazy. I remember somebody, there was a boss of mine, my first job back in the early 2000s, says he knew a guy who, I think it was like, he registered the domain and made a simple website for like 411.com. And he got paid like, I forgot what it was. like tens of millions of dollars or something like that by Yahoo. It's like the simplest shit just made you like millions. Just for that site or something. I don't know. It was crazy. 411. Like who would have thought? But I think that type of money madness is going to be coming out of this AI boom. But we'll see how it goes and when it's all going to start. And I really, really, really want this war in Iran to end. Like I really, really want it to end, or at least to wrap up and secure the Strait of Hormuz, because it's really, really going to muck things up. If prices because of oil going up, prices of everything is going to go up. Everything, right? And that's really, really bad news. It has, regardless of if money printing needs to happen to fund the war effort and build weapons and even send food to the troops and the soldiers and the sailors and everything. It's like, yeah, but that hasn't, that's just one thing. The other thing is like, it's like the entire economy, everybody suffers if prices go up, because then there's little investment being made, there's no jobs being created, interest rates can't come back down because they want to control inflation. It's just crazy. It's really, really, really bad news for us. Yeah, and I saw this video. This guy, Jesse Eckel, that I found, I don't know when I found him, maybe like September of last year or something like that. And I realized that he was, he says a lot of the same things I do. And I pointed it out like yesterday, I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. Somebody in my group says, yeah, he's, you both say the similar thing. So I'm like, yeah, it's like I've been saying that it was a Jesse Eckel, right? Yeah, Jesse Eckel. Yeah. So yeah, I've been saying that, cycle top is going to be in 2027, but I'm like, this Iran Strait of Hormuz situation could like really like delay that, like really mess things up. And like, it's crazy how this guy Jesse Eckel just like says the same things that I do. It's nuts. Like we're totally on the same page. But I will see. Like I really hope that things don't get too delayed. It'll happen. Eventually, it's going to happen. Eventually, we're going to the moon. But this thing is like, right now, it's a matter of when. Like, we keep getting beaten over the head, man. It's just nuts. It's just like, it never ends with us, right? But yeah, TAO has been, we've been crushing it with TAO. So, it looks like I made a good play with TAO. Click that like button, you guys. Click that like button. And subscribe too if you're not subscribed. I mean, geez. So yeah, it's been all like it's been a real mix. Like what's coming out of the US versus what's coming out of Iran. I think they're just trying to like prop up the good news this week, keep the markets up and afloat. Raising hopes for us that things are going to go well, but Iran is still targeting their targets in the region. They're still firing off drones and missiles. They're talking a whole bunch of hogwash. They're talking like yeah, it's just nuts. I think that that's what it's going to be. This 5-day extension to target the energy infrastructure of Iran is just a way to keep things cool for the week. And then when the week closes, Trump is going to be like, well, I tried. So there's not too much of a public backlash, right? So everybody's going to say, well, he did try. He did try. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Goldilocks scenarios, everything gets all worked out and the Strait of Hormuz is opened and Iran, sort of like surrenders. I mean, it doesn't, obviously, Trump has to talk tough and say, I want an unconditional surrender. But they'll if that happens, there could be some conditions that are like minor, right? like with Japan, you know, the World War II fight in Japan. The demand was that the Japan has to unconditionally surrender. And in the end, there was a condition. There was a minor condition that the imperial dynasty of Japan, the emperor, would just continue, just have no power, just as a figurehead. And that was the condition. So the surrender happened. So, I mean, there could be something. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that, you know, there would be some sort of an agreement. It would be favorable for them to surrender, or if they just don't want to, then it's like, I have my doubts though. The radicalism and the thick-headedness, I would imagine, that comes out of them. I mean, they have been funding terrorist organizations for decades now. They've I don't know. They've gone beyond anything that you would think that comes out of any civilized society or civilized government, whether it be like an evil government or not. Or like it could be intelligent and evil and know how to play your cards, but it doesn't look like it. It's just like downright crazy. I don't know. Attacking their allies. It's crazy. It's like, you know, I mentioned that a few days into the war, the country called Azerbaijan came out in support of Iran, and then like the next day, they're sending drones into the Azuri airport. Craziness. I was like, holy crap. Yeah. You know, I don't know what to expect from them. But we'll see what happens, you know. The biggest fear is that the desalination plants are struck in the Gulf. That would be crazy. Hopefully the people there, they're stocking up on water, because, you know, it's just not gonna have any water if something like that happens. And I must, like, man, if I had an apartment in one of those areas, man, like, I'd have my entire living room or entire room dedicated to stacking bottles and bottles of water, right? Because, you know, if the water stops pumping, man, that's kind of nuts. Craziness. But and here's like, I found this. So speaking of the world burning, right? So anything could happen, right? So let's say a deal is brokered and everything is fine, and they surrender, and Strait of Hormuz is opened and everything's fine. A black swan event doesn't necessarily have to do with, you know, war. You know, it could be something else, right? Obviously, we saw that with COVID. A black swan event could be anything. It could also be a freaking meteor. So a few days ago, like, I heard of a 3-foot long meteor that struck Texas. It exploded in the air upon entry in the atmosphere, and a piece of it destroyed a house. And I'm like, I searched for that just like today. It's like, I heard of this last week. I don't know where I heard of it. I don't think I watched a video about it. I think it was like on a radio or something, like in the car, or something like that. And, or whatever it was. But I was like, let me pull up that story. And I was like, there's been 3. So another meteor is spotted in the US. It's the 3rd sighting in a week. That's crazy. So, yeah, streak over Ohio. Let's see what's going on camera. You know, meteors hit the Earth all the time. You know, tiny ones, right? But like freaking 3-foot long. Holy crap! That's bad news. If it doesn't explode in the atmosphere and actually goes down and hits the ground, and that's some serious damage. You know, that's enough to destroy a town or something like that, right? It's just crazy. But yeah, black swan events could be anything. I keep saying that it's I mean, other people keep saying too, but I'm in agreement with them that it's getting struck by asteroids is far more common than people begin to realize. It's just, and looking at all the asteroid strikes, I've been crazy. Like 30,000 years ago in like Mauritania, there's like theorized an asteroid strike that's near in the Mediterranean, or like you're talking about like just in like tens of thousands of years. It's like I talk about this often. That it could be that there have been other human civilizations that have been as advanced as us and just disappeared because of that. But yeah, it's just one of those things we could do. But even the smallest one could just like cause some major problems, because if it hits the ground, that's one thing. But if it hits like a 3-foot meteor and it hits like a sea or an ocean and cause a tsunami, Jesus Christ. It would be like that tsunami that happened in because of an earthquake off the coast of Indonesia, right? It was like 2000. What year was that? Yeah, it was like 2004 or something like that. Yeah. Craziness. But yeah, let's just hope nothing like that happens. But yeah, either way, the things that we can predict, like something to do with Iran, typically that's priced into the market. So that's, even if something bad happens, most of it is priced into the market. Like not like a crash, right? It will go down, but it's not like a black swan event. It's like just you had no idea it was coming. But yeah. So what else we got going on? Yeah, another thing I don't like. So we got a mix. We got some positive news like TAO pumping and stuff like that. There's a lot of concerning things that circle internet dives on possible stablecoin yield restrictions. So this is a concern about this whole Clarity Act and yield on stablecoins, which is I'm really hoping to keep my fingers crossed that we don't lose yield on stablecoins. So yeah, because that would be like really bad. They give some good interest. You can earn quite a bit. So if something like that gets erupted, I'm not going to be very happy at all. I'm not going to be happy at all. Well, let's follow that. So yeah, what about Kaspa? Kaspa. 4-cent range. Doing pretty good this morning. Oh yeah, everything has been looking good. Everything is like worthy of for the most part, right? For the most part, everything worthy of like taking like 10% profits in anticipation for something really bad happening this weekend. I don't know if anybody's ever has stopped to realize that, like I just said, that the Iranians have been funding terrorism for a very long time, and there could be some terrorist cell like in the U.S. too. That would be bad too. Now that would be like a black swan event, like unexpected that something happens here. So fingers crossed again that that doesn't happen. So yeah. What else we got going on? Yeah, this is a good one. So, update a Trump-backed proposal to allow crypto and private equity in 12 trillion 401k plans has cleared the White House review, with a Labor Department rule expected soon. So the idea that crypto can be more easily bought in 401ks is interesting. So it just helps to open up the market and expand, and hopefully eventually, and hopefully very soon, we can add trillions and trillions, not billions, but
Billions and billions.
but trillions and trillions of dollars to the crypto market cap. So in 2026, supporters and critics expect regulators to rethink alts 401k access. Okay, so So compliance experts anticipate further guidance and incremental progress in expanding private markets to include retail investors' retirement savings, following an executive order issued by President Trump earlier this year. So, yeah, so unveiled an executive order ordering regulators to make it easier for private assets, including equity, real estate, cryptocurrency, and other alternatives to be part of the retirement savers 401ks. Yes, this is very good news. I mean, this is good news. Help keep the money flowing, right? Hopefully things will get better soon. We can start making some money. We can start making some money. Speaking of making some money, there's this awesome community out there called Crypto Rich. If you click the link in the description below, it's like totally awesome. So yeah, we be pulling some really nice rabbits out of our hats, man. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, yeah, we got some crazy amounts of multipliers recently. Like the recent one was pipping, pumping in a bear market, and yeah, craziness we've been doing. I can't wait for the reincarnation of AI 16Z, which is Eliza OS, to start pumping. But we got quite a few of them in the communities. Obviously, some of them I talk about publicly, and some of them that I don't talk about publicly. But as you saw, when it comes to TAO, we've been trading TAO, and we got in really low, swing trading nonstop with my glorious swing trading software, selling high and buying back in low. Tracks all of that for you, right? It's 2 consecutive records, or 2 entries where. So it keeps track if you have multiple sell orders, right? Like with TAO, if you're selling, you sell 10%, 10%, 10%. It'll track the average sell of all 3 of those. And then you'll know, and it'll tell you if TAO goes back down, 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 down. It'll tell you that the current price is currently lower than your average sell order. So, it's a good time to buy back in. Like maybe it's 16%, right? Maybe you previously sold 16% higher, or 20% higher, or 7%, or whatever it is. You're like, damn, I can buy back in, and I can accumulate some more tokens and increase the size of my bag. And so instead of having 10 TAO, you end up with 20. And you're like, damn, this crypto rich community is pretty damn good. I'm like, damn. But yeah, going back to this, what else we got? We got Kaspa. Yeah. So Kaspa awaiting May hard fork. Major, this is all garbled right here, right? Expected to bring native tokens and programmability. What? This is neutral to bullish for Kaspa. Yeah, neutral to, yeah, the reason why it's very good for Kaspa in the long run is just very good for the tech and for the how do you say, because the credibility, right, of Kaspa, right? So when people start hearing about it, I'm like, oh, they'll be like, oh, that's pretty damn good. But as we've seen, every time there's an upgrade, nothing really happens, right? A lot of the Kaspa community thinks that, oh, Kaspa's going to pump right now, but it's usually priced in. It's priced in like way in advance from those who were bullish on Kaspa. Like, oh, let me buy it because this is going to happen 3 months from now. I'm going to buy more right now. So it's always priced in advance. But either way, it's really good for Kaspa, right? Because it's going to put us up there with the big boys. So, bullish sentiment, what was it? March 12th. Major updates. May 5th. It's going to be one hell of a good Cinco de Mayo, right? Cinco de Mayo. Big hard fork set for May 5th. Expected to bring native tokens and programmability, a major catalyst. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think this answers the questions right here. So, and I believe it. Yeah, it's gonna uh, it's gonna add like what, USDT stables on Kaspa. I believe so. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's good news. I mean, I guess when we finally have our bull run, maybe we'll get that 100x for Kaspa. So Kaspa right now is sitting at 4 cents, right? 100x means $4. I mean, I think that's realistic. If everything else is pumping to the moon, right? Everything is going parabolic. I mean, like, I don't know. Well, we'll see. That's some huge multipliers, right? So let's say 100 billion. And then TAO. It would be crazy if TAO goes beyond 100 billion market cap. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, because no matter what, I think the market cap of TAO is going to be more than Kaspa too, right? But we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen, right? We'll see. This thing is going to lead the AI pump. I'm telling you. Unless something new and better comes along that we're not aware of, but I think this is it. And then everything else related to AI is going to pump like crazy. It's like everything. You know, same thing with stocks. People are going to find smaller cap stocks because they think those are going to pump. Everything's going to pump like crazy. Everything is going to pump. It's going to be absolutely insane. Just like the .com explosion in the late 90s. Crazy, right? But yeah. I was also going back to this whole oil situation, I was giving some thought. This is it may seem crazy for me to say this thing, right? But like right now, here in upstate New York, price per gallon of regular gasoline is $3.99. All right, so $4. And I'm like, relatively speaking, that's cheap. Even like, oh, what are you talking about? How could that be cheap, right? It's like, oh, right? But like, I'm thinking of the, because if you guys know me, you watch my channel, in the past few months, I've often compared Bitcoin relative to the price of gold. So I'm like, what's Bitcoin's purchasing power? What's its value? Not its dollar value, but and the best way to do that is compare it to gold. So I look at gasoline, and I'm like, I remember back in what was it, 2006? 2006, I was well, more or less, I would say 2005. For those of you who don't know, who know the area, I guess I can tell you some locations. But I was hold on, let me I was living in the city of Yonkers, which is like right at the northern border of New York City, so the Bronx, right? And I tell you, this goes back to the gasoline. I was so do I have how do you use let me describe something here. Epic Pen. No, I had this thing called Epic Pen. I don't know where. Yeah, let me open it up, see if it comes up. I haven't used this thing in a while. I don't even have it installed here. Anyways, I guess I don't know. I was gonna mark up on the map. Is there a way? I think there's a way to do that on Google Maps, isn't there? No. Jesus Christ. Where are the tools? It's been years since I've even tried this. Anyways, I guess I'll just talk through it. So I was living in the city of Yonkers, right? So that's down here, right? If you can see my mouse, right? So I would go up, I would drive, I had a job working through here. I'd drive, yeah, you can see, right? So I'd drive here, through here, Tappan Zee Bridge. And I think there's a new bridge right now. They've taken it down. So anybody who's from the area, you know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what the name of the new bridge is. So I would drive across here into Orange County, New York, and then I had worked like I don't know, somewhere over here or somewhere or another, like right over the border in New Jersey, right? And then it was like 2005, and then I got a job and I moved to the North Bronx. For those of you from the area, let's say like the Norwood section of the Bronx, 205th Street, and I started working in Manhattan. So I just take the train. I just kept my car on the side. I didn't even use it, but I just lived by the train station, got on the train, went to work, and that was it. But then 2006 came around. This goes back to gas prices. I remember the gas price was like $5 in 2006. I remember emailing a former coworker that I had that worked with me back in that place, right at the border of New York and New Jersey, right up there. And I was like, damn, like I'm so glad I don't have to deal with those gas prices driving out there anymore, because it would be so costly. It was like $5 a gallon, right? Or even more. It was going more than that. So this is what I'm talking about, going back to purchase power. So spending like $5 for a gallon of gas in like 2006, you adjust that for inflation, that's just like freaking $12 or something. It's just crazy. It's like, so I'm looking at it. So because of production, like new oil wells drilled and more efficiencies in the production of oils and refinement, and so on, the price has gone down so much. Like, so to be $4 a gallon today, that would have been like a dollar. You know, you'd be like you're spending like $1.50 back then. No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. It was like back then. I think average price. This is New York, because every state is different, obviously, right? So average price might have been like $2.99 back then, but that's like saying average price. You know, that would have been like normal, and that would have been like cheap, right? But that's like saying like a gasoline today, like $6.99 would be cheap, right? It's like somebody in the year 2006 saying $2.99 a gallon is cheap is equivalent of somebody in the year 2026, so 20 years apart, saying $6.99 a gallon is cheap. I don't know if you guys know how I'm getting that. So it's just crazy how the prices. I think that this all ties back in. See, I'm going off into a tangent, but I'm actually just thinking of crypto at the same time, right? So we've had this situation where we've just been going sideways for the history of the ISM PMI. The economy has just been like stagnant, just trying to get above the 50 marks, to, you know, go back into expansionary territory and get out of contractionary territory, right? So we've been going through this for 4 years, but it's never been like this. But since crypto, so this is a great financial crisis. So it's 2009 right here, December 2008, right? Then after this date, throughout the entire existence of crypto up until like what was it, 2018? Up until 2018, interest rates were zero. Like interest rates were zero, and they started going up like a little bit in 2018, or So the bull run was in 2017. Interest rates started going up. There were a few rate hikes, like 0.25% in 2017 or so on, when we did have the bull run. In 2018, interest rates are going up. So it was like, so from 2009 until 2017, interest rates were zero, right? And they were going up, and they started going down a little bit again in 2019, and of course they went to zero again because of COVID. But this entire duration of crypto's existence, for the most part, interest rates were zero, and it's because I think it's just really because of it, like oil was going down, right? More oil wells combined with better refinement and just better production and everything like that. So the price of the dollar, dollars are going up, but the purchasing power of oil, if I'm describing that correctly, the price compared to like gold would have been flat. It's just crazy how it's crazy how our perception of prices of gasoline have changed so much. That gasoline and just oil in general, it affects everything. If the cost of oil just stays down, like sort of like flat lines or something like that in terms of price, then it's like, yeah, it just means inflation is not going to go up. So we had like very little inflation from 2009 onward to 2017, almost no inflation, and therefore interest rates were zero, right? So it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I just went off into pondering this just recently, and I'm like, if like $2.99 in the state of New York, like this is New York, right? Because tends to be expensive. Like down in Alabama, like much cheaper gasoline. But in general, in the state of New York, your perception is $2.99 a gallon. In the year 2006, it might have been cheap for gasoline. But if you adjust that for inflation today, it would be like saying, oh, $6.99 a gallon is cheap. It's crazy. And that just led me down to thinking about ISM and 0% interest rates. With inflation being under control for a very, very long time, it's because the price of oil was under control, right? Increase the price of oil, everything else goes up. Inflation stays low. There's no reason to raise interest rates because there's no inflation that you have to get under control. And anyways, I don't know. Hopefully it just returns to normal and the Strait of Hormuz is flowing and everybody's happy. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, click that link in the description below and I will catch you guys later.
Code Monkey, Code Monkey, Code Monkey Mike.